Internet, my word, it's warm. Apparently it's the day after the hottest day of the year, but it doesn't seem any cooler than it was yesterday. Anyway, trying to be too British talking about the weather. Today's episode is mainly going to focus around British Gas's remote heating control. No, don't turn off, please. This is actually quite interesting and rather geeky, because it gives you a way to look after your home heating system from your smartphone. So yes, there's technology involved, quite a bit of it. I'll also be touching on my recent upgrade to Mountain Lion for my Hackintosh, which went pretty flawlessly. And there's in particular one new feature in Mountain Lion that sort of snuck under the radar really, that is actually my favourite so far. Now, British Gas's remote heating control, we'll skip over the boring stuff as quickly as possible. We needed a new boiler here, we ended up choosing British Gas. It wasn't the main reason we chose British Gas, the availability of their new smart remote heating control, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't contribute towards making the decision. What the system offers you is the ability to monitor and control your heating system from your computer or your smartphone. And this sort of technology has been kicking around and waiting in the wings for a while now, and no one's actually sort of pulled it all together to make it happen. And to give you a little bit of a history lesson, British Gas have been playing around with wireless control for a while. For the last couple of years they've been fitting wireless thermostats that just run on a couple of AA batteries that talk to the boiler without any actual physical connection. This used a protocol called Zigbee. Now, if you're not familiar with Zigbee, bang it straight into Google. It's very similar to Wi-Fi in terms of what it actually does. It enables wireless communication over a reasonable amount of distance, you know, 20, 30, 40 metres. But it differs from Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in the power requirements and the data transfer rate. Power requirements are massively down because of the data rate. It's about 30 to 40, maybe 50k max. So it's designed for a thermostat which runs on two AA batteries for a year or so to talk to other devices. So British Gas have been using it for a while just to enable the thermostat to talk to the boiler, so people don't have to channel cables out, because your boiler's in your kitchen or your bathroom and your thermostat's probably slap bang in the middle of the house in the hallway. So they've been using it for a while. The next stage that they've taken it to is to enable that thermostat to talk back to their back end, their central portal. They do this with a Zigbee to Ethernet bridge, which they also refer to as a smart hub. Now normally this would be buried in my networking stuff, which is stashed well under the desk, but I've put it on the top here and patched it in just so you can see it. The sections here on the top are multicolour LED. If I just power cycle it, you can see as it boots back up again this wonderful disco arrangement that it goes through whilst it sets itself up, checks that it can talk to the thermostat, talk to the Ethernet and get an IP address. So this tiny little thing is the only extra step as far as hardware is concerned, but this then talks back to British Gas's central servers, and that enables you to monitor and control your boiler either from their My Home portal or from a smartphone app. So this is the British Gas My Home portal. As you can see, you've got your temperature, which displays the internal temperature, which is live from the sensor. As you can see, it's rather warm. Outside is taken from the weather service over the net, because you put your postcode in so it knows where you are roughly. And then you've got your heating options here. Automatic says I'm running on the program that I've set up, or off or on, so you can toggle it through there. If I click on the heating widget, you can see my simple heating schedule. Now the only difference between a simple heating schedule and an advanced heating schedule is advanced you can change the options for every day. With simple it's just weekdays and weekend. So it's very simple. You've got sleep, wake, away and home. So you've got when you're in bed at night, when you get up in the morning to go to work, during the day when you're out at work, and in the evening when you're back and doing what you're doing. And all you have to do is set the time bars and the temperatures. So you just drag this around
and that's it. You make your changes and you hit submit. It's transmitted back to their portal, back from the portal to the mini hub, from the mini hub to your thermostat, and away you go. I'll just hit reset there because I don't want to actually make that change. But yeah, temperature, just drag the slider. You know, I want it way warmer in the morning, you know, nice and toasty for when it gets to winter. It's a piece of cake.
There is also a smartphone app available for iOS and Android, which just shows the basics of the portal. Shows current temperature in your house, shows the temperature outside, and what the heating's doing, and you can override it. So for argument's sake, if it's the middle of winter and you get to leave work early, you can flip a toggle on the smartphone, and by the time you get home from work, your house will be nice and warm, which is brilliant. I mean, this is technology finally solving a real world problem. You no longer have to get home and go, oh, this place is freezing, and, you know, boost the heating and sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes waiting for the place to get warm. It's a first world problem solver, I'll freely admit that, but it is a nice enabler. If you have another smartphone operating system such as Windows Phone 7 or Symbian, you can still text a number. You put your phone number into the portal so that your mates can't find out the number and just text you for the comedy value, to turn your heating on in the middle of the night for no good reason. Although that would be pretty funny. You wake up at 4 AM, it's like, why am I boiling? Oh, because all my friends are swines. But yeah, so you've still got the control. You can text it and interrogate it to see what the system's doing, and then you can override just as you would with the smartphone app. But it's obviously not as slicker experience. Overall, I'm going to give British Gas's remote heating control 2 thumbs up. It's quite frankly brilliant. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes even just sort of setting your thermostat up, so your temperatures and your start times, your stop times, much easier than prodding your way through the little LCD screen on the thermostat. I'm a big fan, seriously recommend it. At the moment they're offering it, I believe, for the bargain price of £150, which is the same price as the normal thermostat, because technically the normal thermostat's already got the stuff in it. What they're just doing is throwing this little fella in for now. So, brilliant stuff. Moving onwards, Mountain Lion. Now, Apple have been following a very incremental policy for operating system upgrades. They want them to happen regularly, and they want them to be cheap. So they're just at the point of polishing this and filing down that and changing the other. There's a couple of things about it that I don't like, chiefly which, when it comes out of the box, you can't install anything from a third party. Yes, it's one of those sucking air over teeth moments. It's very easy to turn this setting off. The day that Apple take that setting away from us is the day that I defect back to Windows, you know. So that's not too great. But AirPlay mirroring, what a fantastic idea. You've been able to do it with the iPad for a while, only with the latest one though. The original iPad and the iPad 2 can only send video out to the can only send video out to AirPlay on the Apple TV 2 and 3, but the Retina iPad can mirror its whole screen via AirPlay, and so can the iPhone 4S. Well, they've added this functionality to Macs that have second generation core processors, so a Sandy Bridge or Ivy Bridge, because the Intel quick video technology that has been, for OS 10 anyway, sitting on these processors doing absolutely bob all, unless you had a Mac with a FaceTime HD camera, in which case it was vaguely involved in that. But it's now doing something. It's doing real-time, high-quality transcode to the AirPlay format, and it looks fantastic. It just puts your desktop on your telly. So that's it for this rather warm Tech Royale. I'm off to go and soak myself with a garden hose. It really is that warm. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Oh, and bring back Games Master.